There are plenty of lines you can draw on the globe, but perhaps none is more consequential than the equator. Of the 15 wealthiest countries in the world as measured by GDP per capita, all are in the northern hemisphere. Only 800 million of Earth's 7.6 billion residents live south of the equator. There is a clear divide between north and south, but of those 800 million people, a quarter of them, about 207 million, live here in Brazil. The country is an exception to the global trend.
Forming a massive triangle on the eastern side of South America, with nearly 7,500 kilometers of coastline along the Atlantic Ocean, Brazil occupies over half of the South American continent. It is ranked the 5th largest country in the world based on land area and has a population of more than 200 million.
Do you know the population in Brazil? It's 210 million.
Go there. Brazil is a big country, 200 million people, as big as the UK, France, and Germany combined. It's also big enough to fit all of those countries inside of it, 3 times, at least. It's extremely ethnically and economically diverse, with a wide gap between the richest and the poorest. That economic gap also falls roughly on racial lines and also on political lines, with wealthy white people mostly in big cities being mostly conservative, and poor people of native or African descent being more liberal. Brazil has a diverse economy. They're the 9th largest producer of oil, the 2nd largest producer of beef, the 3rd largest producer of iron ore, and they have the world's 7th largest economy.
Do you know that the currency in Brazil is the Brazilian real?
It's worth remembering throughout this entire process that though Brazil seems very mature economically and politically, its government is only 30 years old. It's new, and they haven't been doing it for very long.
352 of Brazil's 594 members of Congress are currently under investigation for corruption charges. Brazil's future is uncertain right now, but whoever rises to power next faces a tough task in stitching the country.
Brazil's new president has formally taken office. Jair Bolsonaro is a former soldier and he was sworn in today. Described by some as a far-right candidate, he rose to power on an anti-corruption and pro-gun agenda, something similar to the strategy we saw from President Trump.
Speaking of the president, he did reach out to Bolsonaro, and this is a tweet, had a very good conversation with the newly elected president of Brazil, Jair Bolsonaro, who won his race by a substantial margin. We agreed Brazil and the United States will work closely together on trade, military, and everything else. Excellent call. Wished him congrats.
People in Brazil speak Portuguese.
Brazil holds the largest Lusophone population in the world. Lusophones are people who speak the Portuguese language.
The capital of Brazil is Brasilia.
The capital city of Brasilia is also located in this region. It's a city that was intentionally planned and created back in 1956 in order to move the capital.
From samba blocos in Brazil to masked balls in Italy, Carnival is a truly global phenomenon, celebrated in over 50 countries around the world.
The celebration is held for 5 days, 40 days before Easter. What you're watching is the Samba Parade at the Sambódromo in Rio de Janeiro.
Catholicism was brought to Brazil by the Portuguese, and now it's the predominant religion in Brazil with 130 million Catholics. That means Brazil has more Catholics than any other country in the world.
St. Peter.
I'm Sebastian Gomes with Father Tom Rosica, and we're here on location at the National Shrine of Our Lady of Aparecida in Brazil. This is a very important place for the Catholic Church in Latin America and the Caribbean, not only because of its history, but because of the role it's playing in charting a path for the future of Catholicism on this continent and around the world. Housed inside this magnificent shrine, the largest Marian shrine in the world, is a small clay statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary. It was discovered by 3 fishermen in the early 18th century. Testimony of the statue's miraculous powers grew immediately and have continued. And in 1930, Our Lady of Aparecida was declared Queen and Patroness of Brazil.
The flag of Brazil consists of 3 colors and 27 white stars. The green symbolizes the amazing tropical landscape of the country, since 60% of its area is covered by rainforest.
The Amazon rainforest is packed with animals that want to eat you, poison you, or really just ruin your day. This includes anacondas, alligators, electric eels, piranhas, poison dart frogs, bull sharks, vipers, boas, spiders, bats, ants, and all sorts of other deadly insects.
The yellow rhombus signifies the mineral wealth of the country. The blue circle, the sky over Rio de Janeiro on the morning when Brazil declared itself a republic, November 19, 1889. The 27 stars represent the 26 federated states, plus the Federated Union. Inscribed across the flag is Ordem y Progresso, order and progress.
Did you know that Brazil won the cup 5 times? They're the best soccer players ever.
We feature the country of football, Brazil. The Brazilian national football team is the only team to qualify for every FIFA World Cup. This led to their 5 championships, which are the most of any nation. They are also 2-time runner-ups and 2-time bronze medalists. It's not surprising that Pelé, arguably the best footballer of all time, is also a Brazilian. He led the national team to 3 of these victories. When anyone thinks of Brazil, it is hard not to think of football.
Did you know the population in Brazil is 2,000?
Go ahead and take yours and they'll sit quietly.
You want to practice?
Okay. Maybe you have to, come on honey, you can do. So together you're going to say the patron saints of Brazil.
Yes, but I couldn't hear you.
You have to speak up, okay? Saints.
Is it no? You don't want to do this question? No?
Oh, but